There's a new footage of this lizard, which was recorded in Iguana Beach. And if you take a look at this lizard, it ends up breathing fire. Just keep observing it. And right there, this was just one small moment where one of the tourists who visited Iguana Beach actually recorded a footage. A lot of people online have confirmed that this is not some sort of an AI generated footage, and this indeed is real. And a lot of people who live in the Liguna Beach in California have also confirmed that they've also seen something very similar multiple times, that they've seen this lizard that basically breathes fire. And there are so many comments that actually backs up this whole video, where one of the comments says that I spent a lot of time in Laguna Beach, and for months my 7-year-old son kept insisting that he was seeing lizards that spitting fire. Now, he described it so seriously and in such details that it started to worry me. I told him it wasn't real, but it wasn't something from the movies. He never backed down. He even started telling the other kids at the daycare that he saw a dragon, a mini version of what is so called as the dragon. And there's also another comment from a person that lives in Laguna Beach. And apparently the spot in which this video was recorded is right behind his office. And he also claims that he has been occasionally seeing what looks like a super tiny fireball that comes from the rocks. Now, we always thought that maybe it was some sort of a natural gas that's being released. And one of our own warehouse guys swears that he saw a lizard which blows fire out. And we all thought that he was just high or something. But sadly, he was put under prohibition for a month because he wouldn't just stop talking about it. And there's also another person saying certain species of lizards as well as dragons have always existed, and these things are indeed real. Dinosaurs are not real. They were created to be a cover-up of the fact that dragons and giants does not exist. And there's another resident who lives in the Laguna Beach where he says that he can confirm that this is indeed a fire-breathing dragon. And the tourists who visit this place named the dragon as Kenny. And ever since then, there's been news agencies that have been sworn in the areas, and it's been like a crazy couple of days. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but this footage has been going viral all over the internet, all over the social media, and it's also on the news at this point that this new species, whatever it is actually breathing fire. Now, this video is going so viral that even the mainstream media, the news channels, are now picking up. This is coming from Times Now, where they say that the viral video of fire-breathing lizard creates online buzz. And apparently this seems to be some sort of a new species that we are still not aware of. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but a couple years ago, there was a massive headlines that just broke out stating that in Romania, they seem to have found some sort of a petrified head which belongs to a dragon. Now, after the scientists came in and they did some research, the archaeologist department came in and they were doing some research. And apparently they confirmed that it was indeed a petrified creature, but then they classified it as not a dragon. They want to keep, because they don't want people to think that dragons actually existed. As to why the elites who run the world don't want people to believe that dragons are indeed real. And one of the biggest reasons for that is if people start learning that dragons are indeed real, then this would basically prove that the Bible is true. Here is the footage in which they actually found the petrified dragon head, and then it was brought back to the archaeological department, in which they covered up the whole story, stating that it was not some sort of a dragon, and they claimed that it was some sort of a dinosaur species that they've never found before. Take a look at this video right here.
You guys see the video of the petrified dragon's head found in Romania, deep underground?
Look at that stuff,
This is wild, guys. This is why they created the lie of dinosaurs, because dinosaurs never existed. It was dragons. They always found these dragon bones and covered it up and said that they were dinosaurs, but it's always been dragons. There is a reason why every single creature in the Chinese zodiac is a real animal, and then you have this mystical creature.
They always have the dragons,
and it's been depicted throughout all of our ancient history, in ancient artwork, in the Bible, in all religious texts. They've always talked about dragons, and we know that these things are real. It's completely obvious. Look how far underground they found this dragon's head. This is evidence that there was a great reset, there was a great mud flood, and that petrified dragons are 100% a real piece of our history. Peace and love. Have you guys seen the video of
anytime they find this stuff, you know, they would basically just disregard it, stating that it's not dragons, it's the dinosaurs. Now, there is a massive reason as to why they claim that it's the dinosaurs. And the biggest reason for that is right over here, where in the Bible, dragons are mentioned multiple times. Where in Genesis chapter 1 to 21, it says that God created great sea monsters, and in other verses like Psalm 74:13, it mentions that it describes that God breaking the head of the dragon in the waters. Now, the dragon's also called as Leviathan and Behemoth. So these are like the two creatures that apparently God created, and God destroyed one of the creatures. That's what the Bible says, and the other one still lives on deep underneath the ocean. And that probably explains as to why NASA stopped researching underneath the water, and they're now researching more about the earth. And I mean, it doesn't really make sense because we still have a lot of ocean to explore. So why aren't they doing that? Why are they exploring space when there's a lot to already see down here on earth? So there's a very good reason as to why they've stopped exploring the ocean, because there is something extremely deadly down there which they don't want to be awakening. Now, if you look at Job chapter 41, this describes as a sea monster with scales as hard as an iron that cannot be pierced. Now, most importantly for your research, in Job chapter 41, verse 19 to 21, it actually says, out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire that leaps out. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. Or in Job chapter 40, it says that this is a giant land creature with bones like tubes of bronze. And even in Revelation, one of the most interesting chapters of the Bible, in chapter 12, verse 3, it describes that a great red dragon with 7 heads and horns, which is basically the devilish creature that's described in order to represent Satan or the devil himself. Now, the Bible explicitly uses the word dragon in order to represent Satan or the devil, using the image of a powerful, scary beast to show spiritual warfare. Now, this is obviously an undeniable proof there used to be dragons back in those times. And right now, there are still some species that are just running around properly. And as the internet approves so far, a lot of people are claiming that this is not an AI-generated footage, and that many people have indeed already seen this stuff. And this exists in Laguna Beach in California. So if you ever come across this place, let me know if you guys have seen anything as crazy as this. Because to be honest, I have never seen anything like this before. But as of now, this footage right here, if this turns out to be true, this makes us question. This is indeed a very solid proof that dragons are indeed real. And if this tiny little lizard can actually breathe fire, this eventually means that the Bible describes dragons to be able to breathe fire. So that eventually could also be true. And there could be some sort of a gas that's being formed inside of these lizards, which when combined with enough heat, it's basically going to be producing. And obviously, if this gets proven that dragons do exist, then this basically leads a lot of people to believe in the Bible. But then that's one of the reasons why the elites, the people who run this world, they don't want us to think that dragons were ever real. They want to make sure that they keep all of those fossils and all of those remains of these giants and just claim that these are the remains of the so-called dinosaurs. Now, obviously, we have never seen dinosaurs. All that we know and what we can see so far in terms of fossils has a lot of resemblance of what could turn out to be a full-fledged dragon. But obviously, to scientists, they claim that these are just the dinosaurs, because in doing so, they basically claim that dragons are fairy tale, and in return, they would also claim that the Bible is fairy tale, because the Bible has a lot of things to talk about dragons, and it also says the dragon is Lucifer himself. So by discrediting this whole information, they would basically discredit the entire Bible itself, and they just want people to think the Bible is nothing but fairy tale. But this right here is a solid proof that if it turns out to be true, as a lot of people in that location have also been describing, that yes, they have seen this stuff. Many people claim that the reason why California has a lot of fire problems could be due to these species, because people are really confused as to why fire basically starts, and they just end up blaming global warming. But you never know. These creatures could be one of the reasons as to why these things happen. And a solid explanation as to why they would want to hide these things is obviously to discredit the Bible itself. So genuinely, I want to know from you guys, what do you personally think about this clip right here? Do you think it's real? Let me know in the comments down below. I really wanted to go ahead and share this with you guys in today's Wood Show podcast episode because this thing is being going crazy viral and it's also being covered on the news channels for the very first time. So it's just going crazy wild right now. So obviously, I know that this has a lot of relation with the Bible, and obviously we Christians do know that the Bible is 100% true. And if the Bible says dragons existed, then obviously it is true that dragons did exist. And if you actually want to trust these elites with the truth about the world, then I think our human race is in massive trouble because the guys who rule this world basically have lots of secrets, and they have the secret society. They try to hide things, they try to manipulate us, and basically try to control this whole world with lies and deception. And that's the kind of government and science and researchers that we all just believe. So genuinely, I want to know, what are your opinions? Let me know down below in the comments, and go ahead and share this video with your loved ones, with your friends, family, whoever you possibly can. Make sure to go ahead, spread the message, because the solid proofs that we've been getting every single day related to biblical concepts, it's always making our faith stronger. And there's nothing better than sharing good news about the faith of God. So make sure to go ahead, share this video with as many people as possible. You can also help promoting this video by sharing some of the hype points down below in the comment section. So if you're watching this on your mobile phone, then you will get an option where you can basically hype up this video, which will help a lot of people find this video, and it's going to do a lot more than you guys think. So the one thing I would request every single one of you guys to do is to basically go ahead, drop a like on this video, leave any sort of comment. It could be you guys just sharing just a Bible quote. This way, YouTube algorithm thinks that people are liking this video and they're also having interaction in the comment section, which means that they should promote this video and show it to as many people as possible, because they always try to suppress videos like these from getting out there to people. The only way we as community can work together is by helping each other out. So I'm counting on you guys. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe for more updates like these on the Wood Show podcast, and it's absolutely free of cost to subscribe. So make sure to turn your notifications on, and I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.